March 2025 Google Core update just ended, so I analyzed 151,939 different websites to figure out who won, who lost, and what it means for SEO moving forward. Well, what are we going to cover specifically? Well, out of my analysis, there were 13 websites who won that really stuck out that I want to talk about, 12 websites who lost that were quite surprising, and we're also going to talk about search widget trends like AI overviews and people also ask and where that's headed. And then at the end, we're going to talk about common themes, next steps. What does this all mean for SEO? What would I recommend you do based on this knowledge and this review? So the 13 websites who won, 12 websites who lost. We're going to cover each of these in turn. But before we get to that, I actually have to explain how I actually did this analysis, because reviewing 151,000 websites is no small feat. And how I did that? Well, I used SiteCurve, which is a new software I launched. It's a new SEO tool launched a couple of weeks ago. And what it is, it's a landscape tracker, which is a new type of SEO tool. And essentially every day for the keywords you put in the system, it will track the top 20 results across every single keyword. And it'll track all the websites ranking on those keywords. So in this case, for 40,000 keywords, we are tracking 151,000 different websites. And if you're like, what are the keywords? Well, these keywords are the most, there's the highest CPC keywords on Google search. So keywords like best CD rates, best translation software, best credit cards. You can see these have extremely high cost per clicks, which means the websites ranking on them are doing a lot and executing a lot of different SEO strategies to win. So in my view, following the websites who are winning and losing on these keywords will guide my SEO strategy and what I advise my clients, which again is what we're reviewing here today. And yeah, basically there's a report here called a winners and losers report that you can see over time how all of these websites are trending. So in this case, for this specific landscape, which is called SiteCurve 40K, and I have other landscapes here like pet insurance, commercial fitness, mattresses, etc. You can see all the different websites who are ranking and their growth, or if I wanted to flip it to losing sites, you can see the losers. In this case, Reddit is a big loser. We're going to talk about that, but that's how this report was built. So with that context, let me jump into the actual report. Now, the first site on our list is Forbes.com, and if you click this, you can see that it loads up, and I already have it loaded here. And this is SiteCurve. You can actually see all the data and visibility metrics we have on Forbes, and this is looking at the last 3 months. You can do different things with this, but here you can see all of the keywords and where Forbes ranks in this landscape. And if I click keywords tracked, you can see all the keywords that Forbes ranks on in this landscape. And you can see again, best free online learning platforms. You can check by most traffic here. Best metrics for back pain. So they are very much back in action ranking. And Forbes Personal Shopper, that subfolder is actually where they're putting a lot of their content. Going back to my report here, you can see that back in November, they had major declines related to these site reputation abuse policies. Basically, if you're not familiar, Google was not happy that their advisor brand was like sort of spun off into its own little world. They basically felt like it was an offshoot from the main brand and being used as something that wasn't really affiliated. Therefore, it was just piggybacking off the authority, and they were getting all these great rankings. Basically, what Forbes did was sort of relented and said, okay, well, we're going to integrate Forbes Advisor into the main brand and publish a lot of that content in the Forbes Personal Shopper folder. And that's what they're doing. And they redid all their templates. They've even let go of all their freelancers, citing Google spam policies, basically saying, hey, if they're not, full-time employees, then there's just a stronger argument to be made that all this content is, part of the Forbes main brand, which is, again, what Google is arguing. This content is not part of your main brand, therefore it shouldn't rank. Now they're undoing all of that. And you can see just how much this particular folder is growing. The personal shopper folder did decline for some time here, but it came back a lot faster. Again, the personal shopper folder existed before the advisor folder, so it was already sort of in the site and integrated with the site. So I think, again, Forbes is using that to say basically, hey, we're abiding by the guidelines and you should give us visibility. Even their advisor folder is coming back a little bit. So I think Google is relenting here, though they're not anywhere near back where they were before. Moving on to Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo is another one that actually did seem like it directly benefited from the update. In this particular case, they're ranking on a lot of keywords now that they weren't before. In particular, best CD rates, best personal loans, best business credit cards. They've gone from not ranking to ranking. And the type of pages that I'm seeing, and it does look like Wells Fargo is actually improving their templates. I had one example here which was for best CD rates. You can see their old experience, a lot of images, a lot of text. They have this modal that pops up, but then they've completely redid it. They have the same modal, but it's a lot less text and a lot more easier for a typical person to read and consume. And it does look like it's working. And this is a theme you're going to hear a lot in this report, is that if you were an actual brand or service provider of the thing, you're going to get a lot more visibility than you used to. Google's pushing brands up the search results and basically pushing affiliates down the search results. So Wells Fargo is definitely directly benefiting from that new posture. Next on the list is Fidelity. You can see Fidelity here, definitely. The update went live March 12th, and they spiked in visibility around then, definitely related to the update. And you can see here, just zooming in, best S&P 500 index fund, best Roth IRA accounts, all of these have been increasing in visibility. And you can see here, if you wanted to check out the profile as well, you can see which of these reports are saying, hey, you know, okay, so again, best stock trading app is growing. If you flip that to most growth, the biggest one that I'm seeing is best Roth IRA, best semiconductor ETFs. Fidelity is ranking for all of these, and they weren't before. Again, this is a 3-month time horizon, so at the beginning of this period, they were not ranking. Now they are, and their visibility is going up quite a bit. Going back to the report, you can see I pulled one of their templates. It does look like they are doing work also on their website, in this case, for their best, I think this was best S&P index fund. You can see this is the template. This is the actual page they have. And now this is the page they have. So it's it's subtle. So you have to like kind of zoom in, but overall rating, this section here, they've updated these sections. So it's probably helping a little bit though. Again, I think this is the story here with Fidelity is the same with Wells Fargo. Google is preferring brands. And if you're a brand and you're ranking for keywords, you are now getting a boost. And I think Fidelity is benefiting from that. They're not doing a ton different, but I do like some of these UI updates, and I do think that's also helping. The thing about their experience, though, is they're going to have a hard time getting past some of these other experiences. Like specifically for the word best S&P 500 index fund, that keyword has a lot of intent around comparison shopping. So if they don't have more than one fund, which they currently only have one, they're going to have a hard time getting past these are affiliates because they offer many options, and and Fidelity doesn't really do that. They only offer one, their own. Next on the list is Chewy. They're up 336%. Chewy is absolutely crushing it. Maybe the best SEO strategy for an e-commerce site I've ever seen. If you are an e-commerce site, you should study Chewy. I do. But you can see they're actually declining from July to around November. And since November, December, they've seen a steady increase pretty much every day since. And they've only seen a more stark increase at the start of this update. They're dominating for best fresh dog food. Anything dog food, they're dominating, which again, we're tracking a lot of those keywords in this landscape. Lots of high traffic. And again, they were going from either not ranked to, high page one, which again, I think Chewy in particular is benefiting from the brand motion, right? Chewy is a brand, they're an e-commerce site, so Google wants to prefer those sites. One keyword that stuck out to me that was interesting isn't a keyword that is usually an affiliate keyword, and that's best pet insurance. In this case, Chewy published a best pet insurance page pretty recently, and it's starting to rank for the word best pet insurance. You can see here they're number 7 on this list, and they're actually the highest ranked brand. But they're going to have a tough time because, again, usually these types of keywords, users want to shop around. They want comparison, and they only offer their own, so it's going to be tough to break into this section. Next on the list, Chowhound. Chowhound, massive visibility increase. You can see here, very stark. Over 744% increase in visibility. I'll open up their profile to show you. But if you zoom out a little bit, you can actually see that they've been increasing for quite some time. Only recently have they popped. So they've been adding keywords or ranking for more keywords in this landscape. And only recently have they really popped from this update. But the story actually goes deeper there because Chowhound is a recovery story. Chowhound used to be a really, really big site back in 2016. They've slowly been declining. And around, I think, June 22nd, they went out of business. They actually decided to close up shop. This is what it used to look like. You can see that they had these like posts. It was like a very poppin' foodie recipe type vibe. And they were doing quite well, and they ceased operations in 2022. But then they were purchased by Static Media in 2023 And they've essentially done a turnaround, which is maybe one of the most successful turnarounds I've ever seen. And I should probably do a deep dive on them soon. But they've heavily leaned into this first-person style of writing approach, though they are a bit heavy on ads. So I would, if I was advising them, I'd be like, hey, watch the ads. You can see this is the vibe of their experience. And it's really, really quite good. But again, you have ad here, a lot of ads. You're getting a lot of ads. I'm a little worried about them on the ads front. That's a lot of ad real estate and not a lot of content. But they're doing quite well. And if you look at their profile again, same story. And if you open up their keywords tracked, you can see which keywords that we're seeing rank here. So in this case, yeah, best chocolate bars, all kind of food keywords, which makes sense. Best fast food mac and cheese, all these types of keywords. Some of them are getting multiple rankings, which is great. Moving on, thegoodtrade.com. This is an affiliate site. Wow, an affiliate site doing well. Nobody would have ever guessed, but that's what's happening right now. Thegoodtrade.com, they've definitely benefited from this update, have been winning over the long time. They have been winning over quite a long time horizon. And it's clear they've invested in quality. They have human faces essentially everywhere. Let me open up their profile here and show you a little bit more. But yeah, they have human faces everywhere. They even have a really, really awesome newsletter called The Daily Good. If you're going to do affiliate, this is a great model. I think The Good Trade is maybe one of the best examples of affiliate done well. Post HCU and like the affiliate apocalypse. Again, you can see that they've integrated the newsletter really in the feed. And if you scroll through their content, it's very rich and clearly, first party images, a lot of first person writing. There is like tasteful affiliate links. They're not like in your face. So really nicely done by them. And it's clearly, they're getting rewarded for it. If I scroll down, yeah, that's pretty much all I have on them. But yeah, very much a great affiliate site. One other thing that's really interesting about them is that they're really focused on sustainability, and all their content is really sort of revolves around that. And I think they are getting a benefit from that. I think Google sees that they're really tightly focused around one particular category, and they're getting some growth there for that. And again, I subscribe to their newsletter, and they're already emailing me, so clearly they're active there too. PNC.com, another brand very similar to Wells Fargo. Again, they are what I would expect. Basically, they're not doing anything. This is exactly kind of what I was thinking. I had a theory about this when I was going through this. Essentially, they've done nothing, and they've seen growth. And that's what happens when a site, it's what happens when Google just likes brands more than affiliates, where they weren't ranking well before, now they're ranking well. In this case, again, you can see around early March, which is generally before an update actually happens, a site will start to see impact from an update because it happens before they actually announce it. That's what's happening here. You can see they've only started growing more, opening up their keywords to show you this. You can see, again, same type of keywords, best CD rates, anything finance, they're crushing it, or at least they're growing in terms of visibility. Best online mobile bank, mobile check deposit, all of these things. But if you go to the pages, they're not anything special, they're just kind of basic. And again, I think Google is just pushing brands up the fold. So for these high value financial keywords, PNC, Wells Fargo, Fidelity, they're going to start winning more than they were. American Express, again, similar story with them. They're winning quite a lot. Same reason, I would say. Though the story with them is a bit different. I do think they're investing in UX more than PNC. This was their experience, I think, back in 2024. Yeah, 2024. It wasn't ranking for the keyword, what was this? Best credit cards and best balance transfer credit cards. Highly, highly competitive keywords. But now they are. And this is a new experience. It's completely revamped. Really engaging. It's what you'd expect. And it's also kind of, it feels like a nerd wallet. It feels like a Bankrate type of experience, which are incredibly rich experiences. So if I come in here, nerd wallet, I believe Amex will be in here. Yeah, so here's Amex on best balance transfer credit card. You can see here's their experience. Again, it has these chips that are easy to navigate. A user can get where they need to go. It's a far cry from what it used to look like. If I scroll back to where it was, yeah, this is the old experience, not engaging. It's just like, I don't know, my eye doesn't know where to go. So yeah, they're clearly investing there, and it seems like it's paying dividends. Hunting.com, another one that is basically just winning in spite of themselves. They're ranking on best CD rates. They weren't ranking on that before. You can see they started ranking around when the update started hitting, up 274% in terms of visibility. Their domain authority isn't that high. So yeah, again, same story. Wells Fargo, PNC, American Express, they're all benefiting from the same type of stuff. And again, I just pulled SERP for the best CD rates keyword. You can see clearly, brands are sort of dominating this search result, and it used to be more affiliates. Moving on to Delta Dental, one of my favorite sites to study right now. Absolutely crushing it. If you're not familiar, they are a dental insurance business, and they are winning across every single keyword they publish on, dental related. You can see here, best endodontist, dentist Chicago, dentist near me. They are ranking across the board, literally one or two everywhere. And they're doing it with programmatic pages. And that's really important because a lot of people are trying to get into programmatic SEO because they feel like it's a quick win, quick, easy access to SEO. Honestly, programmatic SEO done well can really give you a ton of search traffic and give you access to that long tail. But done poorly, you can completely tank your site. So if you want to see it done well, Delta Dental is crushing it. They're doing it very well. But the thing about them is they're unique. And I think that the one thing to sort of call out about them and their approach is that they are a provider. So I think Google is giving them a lot of boost in the search results because they are a provider. I think Google is actually giving them that provider boost, but then they're also sort of a pseudo affiliate in that they're pushing their partners, the dentists that are in their network, which, Courtney Downer is an example here. They're a partner in the Delta Dental network. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. You can rank on comparison keywords like best dentist Chicago, but then also you can be a provider and Google will give you that boost. So I think Delta Dental is getting a little bit of a tailwind from that. The one thing I did see that I didn't like about them is they have 2 pages that are trying to rank for find a dentist. So really you should have one. So if I was advising them on their SEO strategy, I'd be like, hey guys, we got to merge these into one page. So, figure that out. Because they're essentially meeting this, same user intent. And if you scroll down, you can see that American Dental Association is actually doing it right. They only have 1 and they're beating them. So they do have 2 positions here, but really the 1 is where you need to be because you get all, obviously number 1 gets bulk of the clicks. So just a tip for them. Scrolling past them, Aetna. So on one hand, you have Delta Dental. On the other hand, you got Aetna. Aetna is like the antithesis of Delta Dental. They do nothing and they're seeing growth because they're a brand. Though they could run the same exact play Delta Dental is running, though they're not doing it. Instead, they have these really basic generic pages. Again, they are winning and they are seeing update growth during this update. But there's just so much space here they're not utilizing to intensify conversion. If I was advising them, I would look at Delta Dental and be like, let's run that play all day because there is a massive tailwind going on right now. This is an example page from somebody who's trying to rank to win that keyword. This is the example page of somebody who is ranking for that keyword but has no idea what's going on. So, that's just some advice for Aetna. CozyEarth.com. This is an e-commerce shop that sells bedding and towels. You can see a clear growth trajectory here, up 200% trailing 3 months. They're starting to win on keywords that would have traditionally gone to affiliate sites. So kudos to them. Best bamboo comforter is one of the keywords that they're ranking on quite well now. But again, you can see lots of growth here. I think they're also, again, they're a brand. They're benefiting from that tailwind. They're taking share from affiliates that they're taking keywords. They're taking visibility from that would have went to affiliates. Now it's coming to them. And they're not really optimized. So here's an example of best bamboo comforter. I was looking at this page. They don't even rank for the term. Like it's not even on the page, best bamboo comforter. Yet they are pulling rank for it. Double clicking into best linen basket, you can see just how much Google prefers brands. Yeah, best linen basket, traditionally an affiliate type keyword. Affiliates usually rank pretty well in those types of keywords, but it's all brands as far as I can see. You got New York Times in here with a non-optimal, like best quilts, so it's sort of like tangentially ranking for that, but really it shouldn't be. You also have New York Mag in here, and then all brands. So quite interesting to see them glow up, I should say. Orkin. Rounding out my list, good old Orkin.com. Hopefully your pest control situation is under control. If not, call Orkin. There's your ad. But basically, you can see similar growth, and the story is very similar. Brands are winning right now. If you are a brand and you're at least somewhat optimized for SEO, you're probably seeing some growth, and that's exactly what Orkin is seeing here. Taking share from affiliates, taking share from non-optimized brands. In this case, you can see the SERP for Best Pest Control of Columbus, Ohio. yielded 70% brands out of the top 20 results. Crazy. So Angie Angie and Yelp are probably the two that I would expect to see ranking number 1 and 2 for these. Not anymore. You got brands. They're still there. They're just down the list. And again, this is the theme. Brands used to be like sort of middle of the pack, maybe below, bottom page 1. Now they're top of page 1 almost everywhere for these best keywords, which again is what that landscape is, the Site Curve 40K landscape is tracking. All of these best keywords that are very competitive and traditionally very affiliate centric. If you know my background, I love affiliate SEO, so I'm very interested to see who's ranking on these keywords and how that's trending. In this case, it's trending towards brands and non-affiliates. So let's move over to Lost. Who lost in the March 2025 Google update? Well, Reddit lost. They lost big. They lost 19% of their visibility, at least for these commercial keywords. And you can see they actually lost twice. So they lost around, I think it was the 12th on the day of the update, interestingly, and then the 24th, 12 days later. I don't know what that tells us about how updates work. Maybe they get rolled out in 12-day increments, but because the thing is, Reddit ranks for everything. So they're, in theory, they would be super sensitive to any update. So it's quite interesting to see how that plays out. And yeah, Reddit, it's no secret, Reddit has been dominating not only in organic, but also discussions and forums. They own 43% of share of voice in the discussions and forums widget, which basically means half of all the results that exist in the discussions and forums widget is Reddit. So that's crazy. But yeah, I think users are getting Reddit fatigue. I think that's where things are going. I think Google's seeing that. I think Google is basically getting, people are getting over Reddit and they're not clicking on Reddit results. Therefore, Google's pulling back, specifically in the organic results. Google still dominates discussion. Reddit still dominates discussions and forums, just not as much in organic. Moving on to Quora. Quora is another similar Reddit story. Their visibility has dropped around when the update hit, 9% decline. Same story, almost identical. They're still the same, basically the same in discussions and forums. And if you want to know how I know that, we can see that in Site Curve 40K. So if you come back to Site Curve and you go to Category Curves and you click Search Engine Visibility, this is actually going to show all the visibility by widget and who's ranking in what. So I can show you that in a second. Let that load. And while that loads, Quora, same story. Not a lot to cover there. Healthgrades.com, man, what a tragic story of a fallen angel. Fallen affiliate, I should say. Well, let's pull them up. Healthgrades.com, this is an affiliate play through and through. And you can see here, the visibility basically on the, around the day the update hit, massive declines in visibility. You can see what their website looks like. It's just an affiliate site. If you go to any of their pages, you're going to find a listing of doctors or whatever they have here. Let's see, I'll do doctor, dentist. Ironically, this is the exact same play that Delta Dental is running, except they're not a provider, and Google knows that. So that Delta Dental wins and Healthgrade loses. Sorry, that's just how it works. They're declining like crazy. And they've been around for a long time. I have an Ahrefs screenshot here to show all the history. But they've been around forever, and they've been growing most of this history. And then only recently have they declined. Quite interesting. But they have a ton of pages. So this is, again, a good example of a programmatic SEO strategy that I think Google does not like affiliates to be running. Because if you're an affiliate, this is, again, my personal opinion, Google wants you to be writing handwritten content that is very specific and clearly demonstrates that you've put a lot of effort into those articles with unique images, all that sort of thing. Videos, if you can do them. In this case, I think the 1.8 million pages, Google did not like that. It knew it was an affiliate. And I think it just took up until this point where they were ranking for everything related to these keywords. They're not ranking for a lot of those. Let me actually double click into the keywords. So if you look at these keywords, they were ranking on, let's check the declines here. Okay, you can see it's a long tail of lost keywords. Best weight loss surgeons, for example, used to be ranking here. Now the SERP looks like, it looks completely different. So you have a completely different set of search results here with lots of brands. I kept saying this over and over again. Brands are dominating. Moving on to ZocDoc, which is basically the same site as Healthgrades. Also seeing massive declines, again, around when the update hit. But they were seeing declines even before that. I think, again, best dentist near me, best pediatrician, they're all declining. Same story. The SERP is completely changed. Again, Delta Dental, it really is. Delta Dental is taking everyone's lunch, at least in the dental industry. But if you zoom out, you can see same story as Healthgrades. They were crushing it for the longest time. I mean, only recently, maybe a year ago, they were at their highest visibility ever in their entire existence, and now they're basically gone, which is crazy. Hopefully they have a strategy outside of SEO. Again, programmatic affiliate is very high risk territory right now. That's the takeaway for me on this. Programmatic for brands, different story. Expertise, another site that was very similar to Health Grades, very similar to ZocDoc, same story. Their visibility. This is one that basically the nail in the coffin. They were declining for the longest time. They also had a programmatic affiliate SEO strategy, 64,000 pages. They have been declining for a long time, and it only just continued through this update. So they're done. Sleep Foundation, 92% decline. Now, if you were to check the, let me zoom down here. If you were to check their Ahrefs chart, you'd be like, oh, there's nothing going on here. It looks all good. But if you check their folder where all their affiliate content is, looks bad. And it is bad because they've lost a lot of visibility for really important keywords like best mattress for back pain, best mattress for side sleepers. I know these keywords make them tons of money, and they're losing a ton of visibility. And you can see again in our reports here, best mattress for back pain, slide sleepers, queen mattress, all of these lost or a lot of declines. And when you're saying lost, we only track top 20 here. So if you're like, well, what if they rank 25? I mean, effectively, they have no visibility for the keyword. If it's beyond 20, they don't get any clicks or traffic from that. If they do, it's minuscule. Scrolling down, here's the SERP for best mattress for back pain, which does have a little bit of a YMYL sort of in it. In this case, you can see the affiliate Forbes. Forbes is still in there. So basically what I think is happening here is Google does allow affiliates to still rank on these keywords like Sleep Foundation, though they're just smaller than Forbes. So Forbes and them are competing for the same keyword. Google is going to give the nod to Forbes because they're bigger. You can also see Purple is in here with a brand. Reddit, of course, is pushing everyone at least one position down because they're always ranking at least, I think, 3 or 4 now. Consumer Reports is in there, Good Housekeeping. And then you got more brands. It's just so crowded, in these. And I think you have these massive authority sites that are just pushing down any other affiliate sites that we're trying to rank. And Google's basically gonna be like, I'm gonna show either a really big affiliate site or a brand. And if you're not big, if you're the smallest affiliate site in a search result, you're gonna be really low. And that's what I think is happening with Sleep Foundation. Sleepopolis, same deal. They are literally Sleep Foundation, a competitor of Sleep Foundation, just lower authority. So naturally, they're gonna see the same sort of effects. Same keywords that they're losing visibility on. There's not much to add here, but same story. Justia.com. This is actually a lead gen platform for lawyers. So just like ZocDoc and Health Grades, but lawyers. So think of that. And they're not gone, though they weren't as big as those other sites, but they are declining. Same reasons. If you Google best personal injury lawyer, San Antonio, they're losing visibility to actual law firms. So you can see, again, you got Thomas Henry Law, Super Lawyers, that's an affiliate. Eric Ramos Law, brand. This is an affiliate. Brand. So you get the point. And yeah, I have that all annotated here. So it's just really crowding out with brands. And again, big affiliates are still playing, but if you're the smallest affiliate among the batch, you're gonna get pushed down. Now, Justia is pretty big, so they're still gonna kind of compete in here. But again, yeah, they're the second, so they're right behind BCG. Which actually BCG is lower domain authority than them, so I'd have to dig in on that. But yeah, Justia is still hanging around, but getting pushed down by brands. It's just simple as that. T-Mobile.com, down 29%. This is an actual big brand. The first time we're seeing a brand in this list declining when they're actually seeing tailwinds, right? So there's got to be a story here, and there is. If we scroll down, you can see the keywords they're losing visibility on. They're not losing a ton, but one position in every single search result is going to affect them. And in some cases, it's more. 10 positions on best prepaid phone, best cell phone deals, best phone deals when you switch. They lost 3 positions on that one. And if you scroll down, you can see the best phone deals when you switch had my interest, so I dug in on that one. And Verizon actually had a huge jump on this one, 15 positions. This was their old page. This is their new page. Can you tell the difference? It's a big difference. In this case, their new page is way more optimized and way more tailored toward that intent, and they are seeing massive gains as a result. But when it comes to T-Mobile's page, here's their old page, here's their new page. Can you see the difference? It's almost exactly the same, maybe some slight tweaks. And naturally, Verizon wins because they're more at the cutting edge, they're more at the forefront of what people want. So you can't be stagnant, especially for these really competitive keywords like that, like the ones they're trying to rank on. And yeah, T-Mobile is getting beat. So they're losing. And I think they just got rewarded, through an update. High Speed Internet. This is an affiliate owned by Clearlink, who also owns Move.org and SafeWise, 2 other big affiliate sites. In the case of High Speed Internet, the story is the same with most affiliates. They're losing to brands. For example, best internet provider and best internet deals are keywords that they rank on. And you can see that CNET, a much, much larger affiliate site, has rolled out their own pages targeting the exact same words, and they are getting beat. Again, here's it mocked up. Affiliate, Reddit, of course, number 2. They're usually, 2, 3. And High Speed Internet, number 3. So they're getting beat by a bigger affiliate, which again, it's either affiliates are losing to brands or they're losing to bigger affiliates. That's essentially the story here. So unless you're a big affiliate, you're gonna start seeing some visibility loss. There are other affiliates in here that are a bit smaller, but USA Today is in here, 94. So you can argue maybe they're probably gonna continue to move up the SERP as they optimize this page, and then they're gonna push down these others, and it's gonna be CNET and USA Today competing against each other. Forbes as well. SmartAsset.com. Another affiliate site and the last on our list of losers. So they were down 50%. And again, similar story. SmartAsset has historically owned keywords like best money market rates and best checking accounts. And you can see all the visibility they're losing here for those keywords. Similar to previous affiliates, they're losing share to either bigger affiliate sites, brands, or both. Again, the same story. In this case, Business Insider. You got Reddit again, a brand, then Bankrate, brand, Bankrater, brand, then them, Smart Asset. They used to own, and this is the old SERP, they used to own Smart Asset, they used to own the 2 and the 4. So now Reddit has come in and pushed everybody down 1, and all the brands have moved all of the affiliates down. So again, this is maybe the clearest example of what's happening of this entire report is in this one right here. So let's move on to changes in widget visibility. Things like AI overviews. People also ask perspectives. We're going to talk about here. Now, this is really important because it's affecting everybody, and there's not a lot of good data on it. But we have great data on it with SiteCurve. I'm going to show you that right here. So what you're looking at here is our search engine visibility report. Let me pull it up. So yeah, here you can see the search engine visibility report for SiteCurve 40K. All the landscapes have a similar report as this, and you can see over time, you can see how many search widgets are currently ranking on these search results in this landscape for the keywords in this landscape. If you scroll down, you see the table that shows change in visibility and visibility. And what this is telling you is basically how often did we find this widget on these keywords in this time horizon. So in this case, people also ask 87% of the time, discussions forums 52% of the time, AI overviews 16% of the time for this time horizon. So going back to the report, you can see here, to get to this, all you need to do is flip to AI overviews. And what's going to happen is everything's going to be filtered just by AI overviews. So if we let that load, and here we go, you can see a massive increase in visibility. So right now we're actually seeing 16%. This was a day, I pulled the report together yesterday. So we were actually higher than when I actually built that report. 16% right now. And it used to be 7% or 7.79, so closer to 8. So massive jump in visibility. If you actually click the keywords button here, you can actually see how often we found the widget on each of these keywords. Let me let that load for a second. Cool. So here what you're looking at is, hilarious. You're looking at the visibility for these keywords, how often we found AI overviews when we pulled the rankings. So in this case, 63% of the time, 62% of the time, 60% of the time, and this is the change, gross change, from when we started this report, which is 3 months ago. So big growth on all these keywords. These are all, again, commercial keywords. So it's not most of these are not informational. And if we go top 100, you can scroll and see just like how this distribution. And if I flip this to low visibility, you can see the same thing. Best 3-row hybrid SUV, AI reviews is not on that keyword very often. So that's how this report works. If you go back to my report here, you can see, in this case, you can see the same thing with this screenshot. Overall, what I think is happening here is Google is gathering data to see which keywords users are having a better search experience with AI overviews and which keywords are creating a worse experience. So based on that, they're going to pull back AI overviews or add them more. And they're probably doing 1 million tests a second to figure that out. So that's ultimately where I think, for these keywords that are actually seeing declines in AI overview visibility, I think that's ultimately what you're seeing. And in terms of leaderboards, because SiteCurve can actually show who the #1 most visible domain is in a given landscape for AI overviews. In this case, if I actually go to the category curves here, and if I scroll down to share of voice, you can see that Reddit is the #1 most visible domain in AI overviews. YouTube is #2, Quora #3, US News and NerdWallet #4, 5, and 6. 5. Yeah, there it is. Forbes #6. Again, this is last 3 months. And yeah, if we come into this report, you can actually see the different sites and their share of voice all the way down. And again, this is just how often are we seeing them, and relative to the other sites in this landscape. And you can see again, Reddit, YouTube, Quora, US News, all of these sites. Apple's in here, Healthline. I really like coming in this report and seeing, Healthline, for example. The reason these guys are in here is because they're ranking on very high MSV keywords. If I come in here, the keyword that we found them on was 164K MSV. So they get a lot of visibility technically in this landscape because share of voice is MSV weighted. So you can see if they're ranking well for best translation software. Don't want to get into that too much, but that's how that works. And you can see just how it all comes together. Let's move on to discussions and forums. So there's a story here, and I wasn't sure when I was digging into the data how much of a story, but in this case, you can see that it's declining. So discussions and forums used to be as much as, I think in the 60s in terms of visibility percent, and has dropped to 52%, a 21% drop in visibility, which is quite interesting. Though when it shows, Reddit is still the king in terms of share of voice. Reddit owns 41% of the share of voice for discussions and forums. If I go back to this report here, we can flip this to discussions and forums, and you can see right now Reddit for this day owns 41% of the share of voice, Quora 24%, TripAdvisor, Boggleheads, Facebook. And yeah, Facebook was one that was really interesting to me, and I called this out in the report. Facebook was basically non-existent essentially in the discussion and forums widget, and now they are. And what's happening is Google's pulling in the Facebook group posts. In this case, I dug in on best turkey bacon. I was curious, okay, Facebook is ranking in the discussions and forums widget with on the best turkey bacon keyword with this URL, and that URL you can see is right here, and that pulls up to this post. So in this case, you're looking at, in this Facebook group, this post is ranking in that that discussion and forums widget, which is super interesting. So I was like, oh, okay, well, if I want to rank in discussion and forums with Facebook, I guess I got to create a Facebook group. That's basically what this is telling me. And it used to not be a thing. I think Google's just pulling in more and more different results. The other one I thought that was really interesting was Mattress Underground. So Mattress Underground is a mattress affiliate site that's ranking quite well in the discussions and forums widget with all of these keywords, and they're doing it with their forum. So their forum looks like this, and the forum software to do this, anybody can do this. It's super easy, as long as you have people that are willing to, engage in a forum. They use Discourse, I believe, to build this, and it's super easy. You could do it. You could publish on a subdomain. That's what I sort of recommended. Some people that I'm talking to, if they want, and just, it would be a forum.your_subdomain or your domain, just like this, and that'd be it. Moving on to people also ask, not a lot of change here, though I did want to look at it. It's basically flat with a little blip there. Surprisingly, though, Quora outpaces Reddit for the PAA widget, owning 5% of the visibility versus NerdWallet, US News, Wikipedia. Yeah, Reddit is #2. Yeah, that's super interesting. I guess it's probably because there's just so many pages that Quora has. And yeah, when I was at 3 Ships, we spent a lot of time trying to optimize for that. So it was just really interesting to see Quora dominate. And yeah, I have an example here of NerdWallet actually optimizing for it, whether they know they're doing it or not. They are doing it. They have a page for this. People also ask right here, which credit card is best for an LLC? And they have a page for it, best credit cards for LLCs. So if somebody clicks on that, people also ask, Google will pull in the page and structured like a list if you have it, and it'll show it. And the thing about this is, that particular keyword doesn't have any search traffic, but where that PAA exists, it exists on a keyword with a lot of search traffic. So the PAA exists on the best business card, credit card keyword. So by NerdWallet creating a page optimized for that keyword, they gain access to the PAA widget for this keyword, which means they're now getting more of that 38K search volume, which is related to that keyword. So that's really cool. That's basically the play. You should be optimizing for PAAs. If you're not, this is a big miss, and hopefully this is an example of you doing it. Featured snippet. Okay, here's a story. Featured snippets are way down. I wonder why. It's because AI overviews are taking hold of everybody. Basically, AI overviews are, taking the place of featured snippets. So it's natural and makes total sense that featured snippets would decline in visibility while AI overviews are improving. Perspectives up 8.5%. So this is a widget you probably don't hear a lot about, but it's this one right here. What are people saying? And traditionally, to get here, you probably have to create a YouTube video, an Instagram reel, Instagram post, these sorts of things. And they've been pretty steady. So it doesn't look like Google is doing anything with those, and they're just going to continue to use them. And right now, YouTube is basically the #1 player, Reddit #2, TikTok 3, and Facebook 4, Instagram 5. So if you want to gain access to that widget, you really have to be in one of these 5 social media platforms and create content for it. And that's pretty much it. If you want to dig in on how I conducted the analysis and some different things on my exactly how I built it, definitely do that. But that's all I got for the March 2025 Google Core Update. See you in the next video.